For decades we've been fighting HIV with all these specific targeted weapons. But what if the real key to winning isn't just a better weapon, but a stronger fortress? Today we're going to dig into a whole new blueprint for HIV prevention. And it's not just about fighting a virus, it's about building a health system that can stand up to, well, any storm.
And that question, right there, that's really at the heart of this huge shift in thinking. The idea is to stop just reacting to outbreaks and start being proactive. It's about building a health system that's so tough, so resilient, that yeah, it can handle HIV, but it can also handle whatever the next public health crisis is that comes our way.
So who's leading this charge? Well, it's an organization called the South to South HIV Prevention Learning Network. Bit of a mouthful, so we'll just call it the SSLN.
So you might be asking, what makes the SSLN so different? Well, it's not some top-down organization just handing down orders. No. Think of it more like a collaborative platform, a place where countries are actually in the driver's seat, sharing what works and solving problems together. It's all about learning from each other, the wins and the losses.
And what the SSLN is doing is really spearheading a pretty radical shift in strategy. They're moving away from this old, siloed way of doing things, an approach that, honestly, has been holding us back for way too long.
Okay, this slide right here perfectly breaks it down. You see, the old way was all about silos. You had separate, isolated programs for funding, for outreach, for policy. They didn't talk to each other. But this new, pan-prevention framework, it completely demolishes those walls. The focus now is on these integrated, cross-cutting themes that actually strengthen the entire health system. So what is this framework exactly? Well, you can think of it as a whole new philosophy, really. It basically argues that if you want to truly succeed at HIV prevention, you have to look beyond just the virus. You have to strengthen the very foundations of the health system itself.
Okay, a new philosophy is great, but how does that translate into a real, concrete plan? Well, it's all organized around 5 key thematic streams, and these streams basically provide the blueprint for action.
Yep, 5. Just 5 core areas that, when you weave them all together, create exactly the kind of strong, resilient health system we've been talking about.
And here they are. We're about to dive into each one of these, from the big picture leadership stuff all the way down to sustainable funding, so you can see exactly how it all fits together.
All right, first up, country stewardship, policy, and governance. This is the foundation, really. It's all about leadership.
Basically, this means you got to have a clear captain of the ship, right? You need strong national leadership, you need really smooth coordination between all the different players, and you need a culture of accountability, where results are what really matter most.
Okay, stream number 2 is tactical prioritization. This is all about being smart and strategic. It's about working smarter, not just harder, and using data to guide every single decision. This whole approach just takes the guesswork out of public health. You're using data to pinpoint the most effective things to do and targeting the exact populations where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. It's all about precision, all about focus.
Next up, stream 3, community, advocacy, and communication. And this is where we bring in what might be the most critical piece of any successful health initiative, the community itself.
This slide makes such a powerful point. Prevention isn't something you just do to a community, it's something you have to do with them. So this stream is all about empowering local communities to take the lead, to help shape the strategy, and to drive demand for services from the ground up.
Okay, so let's recap. You've got strong leadership, you've got a smart data-driven plan, and you've got an engaged community. But how do you actually get the services to the people who need them? Well, that's where Stream 4, delivery approaches, comes in.
This is all about totally reinventing how we deliver services. I'm talking about ditching the old one-size-fits-all model and creating new, innovative, people-centered ways of doing things, making services that are actually accessible and tailored to what people in the community really need.
And finally, we get to stream number 5, bundling and sustainable financing. This is the one that makes sure all this incredible work isn't just a flash in the pan. This is about making it last.
Honestly, this is the absolute key to making this whole thing work in the long run. It's about breaking that endless cycle of short-term funding. How? By integrating prevention directly into a country's main health budget. When you do that, prevention becomes a permanent priority, not just some temporary project that might lose its funding next year.
So we've walked through the 5 streams that make up this new framework. But let's just take a step back for a second and ask the big question. Why does this all matter? What makes this integrated approach so revolutionary?
I think this quote just says it all perfectly. The goal here isn't just to prevent HIV. It's to build a health system that is resilient, that is integrated, and that can truly stand on its own 2 feet. A system that's so strong it can handle whatever challenges the future throws at it.
So the crucial point, the real takeaway here is this. Each one of these streams is powerful on its own, for sure, but the real magic happens when you weave them all together. What you get is a system that's not just stronger, it's truly sustainable. It's built to last.
And that leaves us with a pretty massive question, doesn't it? This whole framework, this systems first model, it was born out of the fight against HIV. But its potential is just so much bigger. Could this be the blueprint we need for solving our next global health challenge? And the one after that? You know, the future of global health might just depend on that answer.